It's that time of day again where I've got to feed Ryan. Just finished feeding the cows. Tractor, the cows. See that cow? I think I showed in the last video. It's one I brought down from the spring unit. Up on the spring unit, they're all Jersey cross. They're not all like that. We've got a lot of black ones. We have got black and white ones out there too. But we're trying to get in the herd a bit more black and white, but not as big as these. A little bit smaller, like 500 kilos. These are about 600. But he fell out of block up there, so he's come back down here. Does help with the butter fats a bit, and they do milk quite well, but you won't want too many in this herd on this system. Cow there with a collar. This is what happens to collars sometimes. They get them up over their head. If I get near him, I'll hook it back over. Oh, I can't get him. I'll have to put him in the crush or do him at the front of the parlour. So these cows here are eating a lot of grub at the moment. I put 7 tonne round this morning. I've just done another 7 tonne. So 324 cows. So they're eating quite a lot. A lot of silage in the grub, bit of maize in there, and they've got 4 kilos of concentrate. When I feed them, usually I don't feed them when they're in the shed. Usually I feed them when like we drove them out into the collecting yard and then I put the grub round. But I'm feeding them at the moment in here and it does work quite well. I don't think there's a massive difference, but the cows do come on up and eat more. So a lot of them were sat down just a minute ago, and there's still a few sat down, but not a great deal. They come up and eat more, so it's probably helping their intakes out a bit, but I don't know if it you know, help out on the milk or not. We'll see. They are milking quite well at the moment. They've been out on grass day and night for as long as possible, so they weren't. This year we had a good year, so they've gone out middle of March. Middle of March they went out and they stayed out. They didn't come in at all. Sometimes they can come in day and night in the right in the middle of summer because the ground gets too wet here because we're on heavy clay ground. But this year they've stayed out right the way through, so we've had some good grazing and we've got some good, relatively, you know, good milk out of them, good cheap milk, I call it, because we've been averaging 5 kilos a kg all through summer on these cows and they've been milking really well. So they're going to come in, they're going to average probably 8,000, 8,300 in between there. So those cows, you know, average about 600 kilos probably, out day and night on milk, averaging out day and night on grass, averaging 5 kilos a kg, thereabouts. And now we've come in, they're on 9. So yeah, it hasn't been too bad this summer. I'd say it's been pretty successful, to be honest. Right, so feeding's done. I'm just up on the silage pit at the moment. Tractor over there, what I've been loading the wagon up with. Wagon's over there, parked out ready for tomorrow morning. So I've just walked up round here. That's the stuff we made in October. Sunk a hell of a lot because that was up with that bit of silage what we already had there, and it's dropped right off. So that was about 3 weeks ago. Probably dig in about before long. They say you're not meant to start for about, you know, 5-6 weeks after you made it, but it should be alright. We can mix it in with some other stuff. We've never had no problems before. We do those green top sheets to help out. Brought all those back along to cut the workload a bit, because there's like, we've got so many pits of sheet down, like we've got to go around 3 farms sheeting down. It can nearly feel like an all the time job in the summer. Everybody's got to chip in, so we're like, we don't have no one what don't help out. You know, came and everything, they all come up and we all start chucking tyres on, and it works very well. When you've got like a good team going, it does make it better, because there's no easy way around it. You can do sandbags and whatnot. Never tried that. Tyres seem to work quite well. Don't get no rot really, only if you make some like duffish wet silage, you get a tinge of rot on top. But we've been quite fortunate in the last year or two, because we've had, you know, some good dry days in the spring. We did have a wet day. I think we made some wet silage somewhere in here somewhere, but I think it's been mixed in. So this is the maize plant. I've got to chuck these tyres back. All you farmers while watching that, you know, you've got to do, keep chucking them back. The last thing you want is a tyre going in that wagon, because they don't really go out, they stay in there and chop up even more and they get wire in. But talk about wire and looking for tyres all the time. Well, looking a bit old. These are fairly new, these tyres. We have got rid of a lot of old tyres, but I've seen one here before we turn the camera on. It's got bloody wire in, see this? So you get, like, this tyre's old, really old. And you've got wire coming right now. What we have to do is chuck that tyre out. We make a pile while we chuck the tyres in. Get rid of them. There it goes. Another one there. That one there. You want to get rid of. Don't want to chuck it back on, back in the spring. Last thing you want is wire going in that wagon and mixing that and then going in the cows and cause you a lot of grief. I can't hear some bad stories. And you probably don't know, you probably have a cow drop dead in the night and you're wondering what it is and you blame it on all sorts, but you probably, you know, you might say it's wire and that. And you put magnets in the cows, might help out a little bit, but I don't think it's going to actually solve the problem. I think you've got to, you know, get up here and look out for a bit. There's a few hedge cutting to see in here. So that's not nothing to worry about too much. This and this, but you don't want that going in a wagon. It's just sticks down barrel. You've got to sweep out. You know. So the maize clamp here, I'm not going to take it back too much. I nearly like the sheet hanging over. Actually, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, like hooking up silage and that. But at least with the sheet hanging over, you ain't going to get no water in the maize, and the bloody birds will stay off it too. Because it's warm at the moment, all the starlings and whatnot are out in the field eating the worms. But when it turns cold and those hedges go bare, the birds will come in and you just hear them in your shed, blaring around. And there ain't no way of getting rid of them really. You can go in there and fire a few shots off and whatnot, scare them off. Or you can blow a whistle and clap your hands, they fly off. But if you do get used to it, you get used to the bird scare too. So laser pen though, we fucking hate lasers. So you shine a laser pen, they're gone. They're usually gone, but they fly off to the next farm. And our next farm is only 2 miles away, and across the field is probably less than that. So they fly from here to there, and then Tom will have a problem like that. So and then they'll probably come back again. So that's one good thing about it's warm weather, I suppose. You've got no bloody starlings, mate. So not too bad. It's gone quite well at the moment actually. It's a little bit warm for the cows, but you can't have it all. In this dairy farming job, it is flat out all the time. So it's 330 odd cows in milk at the moment, and we've got 70 odd dry cows. Here's the dry cows here, like I showed you in my other video, just feeding them again because it's that time of day when you all need feeding the young stock there. We've got a lot of young stock still out in the field, but these are the smaller ones. What we usually do is bring the dry cows and the bigger ones in, but this year these aren't done as well, so we're feeding them out. There's a cow over there, calves. Right over there, that one I pointed out yesterday, he held on all night and he's literally just dropped one now, because when I come in to smith it go, I was just watching him slowly flop one out. So I'm going to run over there in a minute and have a check, make sure he's alright. Dry cows are tucking in this ration well. They're eating about 4 tonne of this and 1 tonne of it straw. So they're chomping away. All the intakes are really good on the farm at the moment, so I'm hoping the milk is going to push up a little bit more. But we'll see how it goes. The cows are calving big calves at the moment, so we don't want them much bigger, because if we have one with a backwards leg or whatever, it's going to be a little bit of the job to get out. Right, that's scrub done. Give it a bit of dry cow ration, pick them up. See, a lot of them done alright. You've got a few there. They won't regroup in a few of these little ones, so I have to get like that CS Jersey. Bit poor looking. You've got ringworm, so that's not a good sign. All immunity. Dry cows here. Sweep them out in a minute. This calf's literally just been born. This one here is going to be barren. I'm going to have to book her in. She's going to drop here. There we go, like this. 1951. See that, he's about 10 minutes at the most old. For a calf, I reckon. There she goes. It's heating a minute. Right, let's have a look, see what she is. Oh yeah, we got a heifer calf. Bit of a British Frisian sort of calf. See, this is what I got. These are falling out of the other block. So I bring them down here onto this one. You just weight off that one. See, on a spring unit, like you've got some cows what too good to get rid of. Like you don't want to go like sending on 30 or 40 cows what are really good if you've got another dairy to put on. So we bring them down here and it works really well actually, because as long as you accept they ain't going to give as much milk as the others, they do push the butt faster, and we're on a cheese contract, so it helps out really well. When that calf has got a bit drier, we bring the cow and calf into here, this holding pen. So this is like our loading bay holding pen. They come in here, and then they might stay in there for a couple of hours, or if I've got a box and whatnot, I'll get the box on and bring them on up. I'll wait for that calf to dry off, and then I'll carry her in there. Mother will follow, hopefully, because we've got this pen here. So I'll get her out of the dry cows, get her into here, and then into there, hopefully she'll walk in. Sometimes it don't. A lot of times I've got to carry the calf over, put them in there, and then she's in there on her own, and then I'll get the cow box, that's what we do in the winter, and then haul her on it to the dairy, where she goes in another shed with the other fresh calvers, with the calves. Sometimes she's on her own, sometimes there's others in there from the day before, whatever. And then she'll go in the parlour that night, get her cake, get a bit of colostrum out if we got in, give it to the calf if she ain't out, but that one's going to suck, most of them do. Go from there. Last job of the day is to turn these lights on. So I'm only turning a few on at night. A few in each shed. One or two. Help out on the old electricity. Just check around a minute. Have a look at these cows, let down. Go on. Right, this is the middle shed. We've got one shed over there, one shed here, one shed there. The cows are stuffed, look at them. They're all, there's a few down the barrier. There always is a few down the barrier all through the night. Most of these cows out stuffed. When I walk down through these cows, I'll never walk past a cubicle what's got the cow shit on it. Like this. Always scoop it off. I'll never walk past it and leave it. There's another one, I could be here all night actually. Whenever I see one, I just hook it off. I think that's quite a few. All the rest are clean. It all led uphill. Because this shed has got a drop on it. The whole shed drops all the way down, 2 metre drop. From up there, right down to there is a 2 metre drop. That means don't get no water in the passageways, no water hanging about. So it helps us out with the dermatitis for the cow's feet and whatnot, and it always stays quite nice and dry. It can nearly go against us because it can nearly be too dry when you have really dry cold weather in the winter. But I'd rather have it dry than having moisture about. That's why this shed is so good for like when the cows come in, we never have trouble with them cell counts or batter scans once they're in day and night on sand. It's partially because of that sand, but because of the dry atmosphere. Makes a massive difference. Makes it a lot easier for milking. You got to do the work. Like I like letting the cows out. The cows go out day and night as long as possible. But when they're in, you got to do the work like scraping out and bedding down and feeding rain and all that. But the actual when it comes to cell counts, back scans, whatever, it's a hell of a lot easier. There we go. Yeah, happy. Look at that. About 320 odd cows in here, and you barely hear a single sound of blare. Only that one there, but it is really quiet in here. You just hear the birds chirping. That's about it. They are happy as Larry. They're really settled tonight. One of the last nights is going to be light too, because the clocks go back at the weekend, so it'll be dark when I finish this time night. And we'll have the lights on an extra hour, 2 a day. Help them out. I don't think it makes a massive difference having the lights on at night. I have been flicking them all out at night before I go to bed, and it don't seem to affect them at all. So we might do that this winter. We'll see how it goes, or just leave 1 or 2 lights on. We'll see what goes like. Tractor and pusher up there, ready for tomorrow morning. I'll push up the last little bit of silage tomorrow morning when we drove the cows out, and put around some more. Grass is growing well though, looking at across the field there, look at that. It's green, really green. That's been for a couple of years now. Nearly grows all the way to Christmas now.